They say silence is peaceful, but not this kind. The kind of silence that greets you when your calls go unanswered. The kind that settles into your bones when the house you built no longer belongs to you. I had just landed in Singapore, a dream role, regional project director, 2 years, 6-figure salary. It was everything I had worked for, and it meant a better life for both of us. Before I left, I kissed my wife, Natalie, goodbye at the airport. She cried into my shoulder and told me how proud she was. We even joked about what color we'd paint the nursery when I came back. It was love. It was hope. It was ours. Or so I thought. The first week overseas was a blur of meetings, time zone shifts, and settling in. I texted her every day, called every night. She'd reply with short messages. Miss you too. Busy, talk later. Then, even those stopped. I told myself it was the time difference, the stress, the adjustment. But deep down, something didn't feel right. The silence wasn't just quiet. It was deliberate, and I was about to find out why. 2 weeks passed, still no calls, no FaceTime. Natalie had never been like this before, not even during our worst fights. So I did what anyone would do. I started asking questions. I texted her best friend, Mia. She said, "I haven't seen Nat in a while. Maybe she's just overwhelmed." Overwhelmed? We'd only just begun this chapter of our lives. This was supposed to be the hardest part, being apart, but also the most united we'd ever be. I opened our shared cloud photo album. The last upload was the day I left. No selfies, no brunches, no pet pictures, nothing. That's when I checked our bank app, and my stomach turned. "This account has been closed. Please contact your local branch." Closed. It was our joint account. We'd been saving for a house renovation, a vacation, a child. I called the bank. They confirmed. Natalie had closed the account in person. 5 days after I left the country, she also sold the car and the house. I called our real estate agent in panic. She confirmed the unthinkable. "Bryce, I thought you were in on it. She sold the house last week. Cash buyer. Very fast process." I wasn't just losing touch with my wife. I was losing the life we built, brick by brick. And Natalie was the one holding the sledgehammer. I stared at my phone, refreshing her social media over and over. But her profiles had vanished. Instagram, gone. Facebook, deactivated. Even our shared Spotify playlist was deleted. It was like she had scrubbed herself from our entire digital life. I tried calling her again, straight to voicemail. I sent one last message. "Nat, what's going on? Please tell me you're okay. Just talk to me." No response. So I turned to our shared email. It was mostly junk, promotions, newsletters, airline deals. But then I noticed something buried deep in the travel tab, a forwarded message. "Congratulations on your recent booking." She had booked a one-way flight to a small beach town 3 states away, right after I left. And that wasn't all. There was a digital receipt from a moving company. She'd hired them to pack and remove everything within 48 hours of my departure. I sat frozen in my apartment, 8,000 miles away, as the pieces clicked together like some cruel jigsaw puzzle. She hadn't just distanced herself, she had erased me. I called Mia again. This time I didn't ask, I demanded. "Where is she, Mia? Don't lie to me. You know something." There was a long pause on the other end, then a sigh. "Bryce." She said she needed a fresh start, that she felt trapped in the marriage. Trapped? We had been planning our future. "She decorated the nursery herself," Mia continued, her voice soft. "She told me she wanted space, but not just emotionally, physically. She wanted to disappear for a while. Said she'd never find herself with you constantly around. Constantly around? I was halfway across the planet. I asked Mia, flat out, did she leave me? Silence again. Then, she didn't say it like that. But, yeah, Bryce, she's not coming back. It wasn't betrayal in the traditional sense. It wasn't a messy affair or a screaming match. It was something colder, more calculated. She waited until I left. And then, she disappeared. I flew back without telling anyone. My boss wasn't happy. But this wasn't about work anymore. It was about truth, about closure. When I pulled up to what used to be our house, it didn't even feel familiar anymore. The curtains were different. The flowers Natalie planted were gone. There was a different car in the driveway. I knocked on the door. A stranger opened it. Can I help you? I explained who I was, who I used to be. The man nodded slowly and said, we bought this house last month from a woman named Natalie. She said her husband had passed. My breath caught. She said I was dead? He looked uncomfortable. I don't know. That's what she told the agent. I'm sorry. I thanked him and walked away. Every step felt heavier than the last. It wasn't just about being left behind. It was about being erased, replaced, like I was never part of the story. I drove to the beach town from the travel receipt. It took hours. The whole time I was rehearsing what I'd say, how I'd ask her why she sold the house, why she emptied our account, why she said I was dead. When I arrived, I checked into a motel and walked the boardwalk. It didn't take long to find her. Natalie was there, smiling, sitting at a cafe with a man I didn't recognize. Their hands were touching across the table. I stood across the street, watching. My stomach was in knots. I took a photo, not to confront her with it, but to remind myself this was real, that the woman who once cried at our wedding was now laughing with someone else a month later. And then she looked up and saw me. Her face went pale. She whispered something to the man, and they left, quickly, like I was the ghost. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on the motel bed staring at my phone, waiting, hoping she'd reach out. At 2:14 a.m., she did. A single message. I didn't want you to find out like this. I didn't respond. 10 minutes later, another came. I felt suffocated. I didn't know how to tell you without breaking you. I didn't leave to hurt you. I left to save myself. Save herself? I had crossed oceans for us. I had built a life she asked for. I had trusted her with everything. And she left in silence, then lied to the world about my existence. I typed, you sold our home. You said I was dead. You emptied our account, and you're already with someone else. What part of that was meant to save me? I deleted the message. What was the point? Some truths don't deserve a reply. They just need to be understood. And walked away from. I didn't see her again. No dramatic confrontation, no closure in person, just silence. And that silence became my answer. I moved into a smaller apartment closer to work, sold what little furniture I had left, started over. But the hardest part wasn't the betrayal. It wasn't even the lies. It was letting go of the version of Natalie I had loved. The woman who held my hand during hard nights, who dreamed of our future, who picked baby names and painted the guest room yellow. That woman didn't exist anymore. Or maybe she never did. She left me on the night we were supposed to begin forever, and married her ex a week later. I still don't know what hurt more, being replaced so quickly, or realizing I was never irreplaceable to begin with. But now, I live with that truth, and every day it hurts a little less, because I survived the silence, And sometimes that's enough.